Hello, everyone. It is very early in the morning. I don't even think the sun is fully out yet, but I wanted to have a little bookish discussion with you all about adults reading children's books. And this is kind of in honor of Middle Grade March, which, for those that don't know, is a ongoing thing during the month of March where we read middle grade books. And middle grade is like, I would say about 9 to 12 age range, but I guess it really depends on the book. So, yeah, middle grade books in the month of March. Middle grade March. Technically, you only have to read like one middle grade to participate, but I am going all out this year because, like I said, I want to, catch up on the middle grade that I missed out as a child because that was during my phase when I didn't really read much. So yeah, I'm excited about it. And Middle Grade March is hosted by Krista from Books and Jams, Katie from, I'm not good with channel names. I think it's Life Between Words, and Amanda from On the Middle Shelf. I will make sure to leave a link to those channels as well as the official Middle Grade March channel for anyone who is interested. So, yeah, I thought in honor of that, I'm going to have a little chat about why I like to read books for a younger age demographic and reasons why I think adults should if they want to. Now, keep in mind, I am not like a professional of anything or just like really, I guess well versed or whatever. I am just a person talking about what I think, and I'm hoping to, start a discussion with you all and know y'all's thoughts. This was also kind of inspired by other YouTube channels that I saw did similar videos, like Meg Reads, Livy Simone, and by the way, name twins. Anyways, and my friend Angie's Reading Life. I will also link those channels in my description. And I am rambling, so without further ado, I'm just going to discuss the reasons why adults might read books for children. Because I think that it is often, there's just this idea that if an adult reads children's literature, then that says something about their intelligence or their maturity level, and like I just don't think that reading younger makes you less intelligent or anything. So yeah, here are some reasons. I would say the first one is that I feel like, despite what a lot of people think about children's books, that they're, lighthearted and fluffy and not much happens, I feel like a lot of children's books are made to introduce children to specific topics and lessons, and so I feel like children's books can also be thought-provoking and bring about important discussions, just like adult books can. Because, a lot of the times, children's books do actually have a plot. And so, things happen. And especially when you're an adult, you may notice more things than you would if you were reading this as a child, and so it's interesting. That's one of my favorite things to do, is reread old books that I liked as a child and discover new things about it that I maybe didn't pick up on back then, and discuss my thoughts on it now. And that's one reason why I think that it's interesting to, read a children's book. And I also feel like it can maybe, increase understanding or empathy for what children go through. And I mean, because a lot of the times adults can be dismissive of children and what they think isn't as important to what adults think or feel. And I don't know, I feel like when you read a book with a child main character, it can remind you of being a child and things that you felt back then, and maybe that could help to have more compassion when talking about things with children, instead of just dismissing them and their worries or their thoughts. And just like being able to have a conversation with them. I feel like it is a common and it's normalized for people to say that they hate kids. I understand if you don't want kids or you don't particularly enjoy their presence or whatever. I get it. They can be frustrating and they can be annoying, but I feel like we can all be that way. And I just don't think it's fair to say that you hate an entire group of people, and a very vulnerable one at that. To me, it feels a bit unsettling in a way. And so, yeah, even if you don't have kids or know many people with kids or aren't planning on being a teacher or anything, it can be important to, have that perspective. And remember, because we were all once children as well, and so we probably once related to these characters. I remember as a kid really relating to Ramona Quimby. And now that I'm older, I probably relate to Beezus more, especially now that I'm an older sister. Yeah, I feel like. But I, can remember that part of me that did relate to Ramona, even if I don't anymore, and that many children still probably do, as well as other characters. And a lot of authors are really great at getting into that mindset or the perspective of children, and I feel like it's important that we, have some more empathy towards them. And just in general, I feel like children's books often focus on lessons or, certain themes like friendship or kindness, resilience, things like that are great for children to learn. But it's also great to revisit those kinds of things and be reminded of them, because I feel like we never really stop learning those kinds of things. We never stop learning how to be, kind, or be a good friend, or be strong. Those are just things that we should be reminded of. And a lot of the times, children's books do have those kinds of messages that can be important to people. And another thing is that I feel like children's books can bring out a more imaginative side to people. I feel like, of course there's adult fantasy and stuff, and I just feel like kids' books are very imaginative. The characters can be imaginative, or they have really creative plots that, you know, eventually as adults it feels like we just become less and less imaginative over time. But maybe reading a children's book can remind you of, you know, being a kid and like pretending you're at Hogwarts, or thinking that you're going to get a Hogwarts letter, or finding a random place in your house and convincing yourself that someday it will take you to Narnia. And yeah, I feel like it can be good for the imagination or creativity. And also light and fluffy reads. Like I said, not all children's books are like that, but there are some good things about those books too. I would say the main reason why I like the lighthearted, everyday life kinds of books is that, well, I do think that there is, beauty in the simple things of life that maybe we sort of don't pay attention to over time. And, when we're in the perspective of a child, a lot of the times they're new and exciting, and, I feel like it's just good to be reminded of the simple pleasures of life. And I guess that's one reason why I loved Anne of Green Gables, because Anne just appreciates all the beauty and the nature around her, and it's nice. I like to be reminded of that. As well as it's just nice to have a light read during stressful times. It's nice to read Winnie the Pooh or Betsy Tacy sometimes. Nothing happens. It's just sort of lighthearted. Maybe it reminds you of the joys of little activities that you used to do as a child, and well, yeah, that's why I often like the lighthearted stuff too. I also do think that children's nonfiction is good as well, because it can maybe introduce you to a topic in an easily understood manner. And then maybe you can do other research about it. I personally don't read a whole lot of nonfiction, but like when I go through the American Girl books, they always have a nonfiction section at the end, and I find it so interesting. And yeah, a lot of the times I'm learning completely new things, and you can even learn those things from like picture books too. So yeah, I remember one time I actually found for one of the American Girls, they have like, some of them have cookbooks, and I actually found an ebook version of that, and I thought it was very interesting to see what kinds of things they had back in Felicity's day. And of course it doesn't go too much into depth about it because they're for children, but then maybe it can just get you started, and then you can do further research. And what's cool is I actually even found a YouTube video of someone making one of the recipes from that book, and I want to try it. But yeah, I also noticed, I don't know if it's like true, obviously adult books can be like this too, and I guess really that's the main thing, is that a lot of the times children's books do have the same aspects of adult literature. And I noticed that a lot of the times children's books, specifically middle grade, has more diverse characters, of different backgrounds, different, abilities, whatever. So it's also just nice to read about a more diverse group of people, maybe have that perspective as well, and maybe that's just the whole, lesson about that kids learn about, treat everybody equally, even if they're a little different from how you are. But yeah, I did notice that. Another thing that I wanted to add on really quick, because I ended the video and then I realized something else that I wanted to say, and that is, it's just nice to share the love of reading and books with everyone and have recommendations. Especially, it's super exciting to, see a little kid get excited about a book and, hear their thoughts about it as well. And I guess it goes back to the whole, getting a better understanding of children thing is I like to have discussions mainly with my little sister about books, and we often we listen to a lot of audiobooks together, and occasionally I read to her if I have a braille copy of something, and it's nice to hear what she has to say about it and just share the enjoyment of books. It's so fun to read another children's book and recommend it to her. I mean, we've read quite a bit of things. She liked Ramona. She liked the Anne of Green Gables book. We haven't read the whole series though, but yeah, I mean, I haven't even read the whole series, but we've read all the Dork Diaries books and just laughed so hard at those. The audio is so funny a lot of times, and it's just nice to share the love of reading with somebody. And it can also just be a form of like nostalgia and escapism as well. But anyways, that's all I have to say this time, and I guess the conclusion of my video is just to read what you want, how you want. It doesn't hurt anybody else, and if people have a problem with that, well, then that is their issue. And yeah. But feel free to add on to the discussion in my comment section. I am very interested to hear what people have to say. But that's all for today. I hope everyone has an amazing day, and I will be back with another video hopefully soon, and bye for now.